Hello everyone, myself Kamesh. I'm a long-time open source contributed to many open source projects such as Knative, Minikube, Eclipse, Che, and all these stuff. And right now playing with Service Mesh and serverless technologies. To answer how I landed up at Civo is all experiments, right? So I'm an ex-Red Hatter, to be honest. I was trying various platforms which could help me to get my Kubernetes clusters quite easily and quickly. Usually the standard ones have been GKE, EKs, and AKs and all these platforms. But at times, cost becomes a factor for me, like because some personal experiments that I do or personal projects that I contribute or build. So I need some cluster which can give me something pretty faster, something like I can compare it like a Minikube on a cloud, right? For example, it's not a apple to apple comparison, but I'm just saying that way, which can get me clusters which I can create and destroy pretty quickly. So that was one of my goals. Obviously, the cost is another factor. So when I was trying to search for these things, I bumped up on various other cloud providers, and finally, one of my ex-Red Hat colleagues told about Civo, and that's how I landed with Civo. I had a very pleasant, smooth experience from the time I say create a cluster, delete a cluster, install applications for the very first time, right? Which, in my opinion, is a great developer experience because whenever you try something new and you get it working on the first try, that goes a long way, right? Because you keep trying that again and again to improve that and see what's missing, etc., etc. So my first experience was fabulous. So as part of solo, right? So I need a spin of multi clusters. Like just to give a solo, we are a service mesh company where we do API gateway and other stuff, right? So in many cases, when I was playing with Istio and one of our flagship products called as Blue Mesh, so I need a way to have multiple clusters spinned up quickly so that I can build a multi-cluster service mesh, right? That was one of the goals when I was initially joined solo and I was need to learn the product and all these things. Where I have to, as I told earlier, I have to start creating clusters and destroy clusters quickly, right? Because something you do wrong and you go there, right? And that's and that way, like the create and delete are the very easiest one, the very simplest one, to be honest. And the commands is very simple. Even if you do a GUI, it also makes very easy. But I'm a CLI guy. I try anything with CLI. And the other feature which I liked the most was the marketplace, right? Because that I should put the credit to Civo, because I think he understood the developer pulse from the start, right? Because when a developer is landing on a Kubernetes clusters, you might need to have a database, you might need to have a service mesh, you might need to have an API gateway. So you might have a lot of requirements for which he has to run through multiple kubectl applies, right? At the end of the day, or Helm charts, or even an operator at the end of the day. So, but when I have all those things ready, right, we have the marketplace, just a click of a button that's going to deploy those applications, or via the CLI, I add all applications I need. I get a cluster with the same speed, the same amount of time, everything becoming ready, right? So that's another feature which I like the most was the marketplace stuff, right, where I can go add things. And the third thing which I should definitely mention was that how accommodative you guys were with the community, right? Because I said I contributed a couple of the marketplace applications. I should say I had contributed the Glue API gateway thing, as you can find out in Civo Marketplace, where you can get an API gateway running, and an Istio marketplace application where you can have Istio running on your Civo clusters, right? And your community access points and POCs, Siam and other guys, like they were pretty awesome because they were quite accommodative, where there is multiple back and forth because of the constraints that Civo has to get your scripts ready in a way it has to be done. And they were very accommodative in getting that done. I'm very happy that those two applications are there in the Civo marketplace, which I use it every day, right? When I want to spin up a Civo cluster, just click of a button, I have those applications also available. So the marketplace was fabulous. Your CLI is totally simple and easy to use, and your cluster end of the day is the most simplest thing that I can get on your cluster. See, usually my tech stacks, at least I should say, since I started using Civo, which is like 8 months back, at the same time I joined Solo as well, has always been like I have to run service mesh applications and then, or any typical service application workloads, which might require to use an API gateway or to use a service mesh or combine both these two things together. So that has been pretty much my workload that I've been using Civo for. That was an amazing thing, like Kunal. I think I should say. I think, and thanks for letting me know about that. I was reading that across in multiple blogs and other places, but I technically forgot to ask someone from Civo on how that works actually, right? And that's going to help a lot way because, as I said earlier, I'm being a developer advocate. My primary goal is to take these things to developers, right? So when they so somebody will ask you like how's your cloud provider doing, like what cloud provider are you using behind the scenes. That's where like I'm going to say, okay, this is a cloud provider I'm using, like which is going to give me all these features, and this is where you can get started pretty fast, right? And that's something I'll definitely recommend to any developer advocate across the globe. When you're doing something on Kubernetes or you building cloud native applications and you want to try something quicker, faster, which is like a little bit close, I should say, like I will call it close to a developer's heart kind of thing, then definitely I recommend them using Civo. Because that makes your life much easier, right? If your machine is not having that capacity to run multiple clusters, right, of mini cubes or kinds or whatever those kind of thing, then definitely Civo is the place to land in, right? Because with the we can have that with the I should not say a minimal cost, but I should say an optimal cost, right? That's how I put it, because with that cost, which is affordable by any developer or any developer advocate for doing their experiments. So I totally recommend it for anybody, and thanks to Civo for making me part of the program and helping me with the credits and all other things that's required, so that I can use Civo cluster without any hesitation across all my demos and other things that's going to come, that I did already and that's going to come as well.